Good afternoon. I'm Reverend Chris Ramsey. Today we'll be talking about my topic, young Black men, systemic racism, and economics. The problems that I look to conquer in my ministry are unemployment, underemployment, mass incarceration, and a term I coined called forced superwoman. These issues, I believe, are plaguing the Black community in substantial ways, destroying the Black family, et cetera, et cetera. And I feel we can conquer these issues by becoming business owners. Being a business owner gives you a certain amount of power that you cannot access when you're an employee. And with that, the question begs, well, how is it ministry and not just a business plan or not just a business endeavor? And we have scriptural support for that. Deuteronomy 28:12 and 13 says, I'll make you the lender and not the borrower, the head and not the tail, above and not beneath. In addition, John 14:12 through 13 says, most assuredly, I say, excuse me, that's John 14:12 through 13. Most assuredly, I say to you, he who believes in me, the works that I do, he will do also, and greater works than these he will do, because I go to my Father. And whatever you ask in my name, that I will do, that the Father may be glorified in the Son. And lastly, our scripture is 1 Peter 2 and 9. You are a chosen people, a royal priesthood, a holy nation, his own special people, that you may proclaim the praises of him who called you out of darkness into the marvelous light. So these are the scriptures that I use in my ministry to show the power of God. And there are problems in place with systemic racism in that folks are just not looking to give Black people, especially Black men, the same access to opportunities that are being presented to our white counterparts. And I personally believe that no one race, group, or entity can have the monopoly on opportunity. With that said, we have to create our own opportunities. So when I talk to young Black men in reference to systemic racism and economics, money, I can't just talk to them about it, but I have to, in addition, present viable solutions to the problems that I pose. And with those problems, I said that entrepreneurship is the way. What I've noticed when I first graduated undergrad, this was 2005. So between 2005 and 7, I set up my second business. I had a failed business before that already. And while I was doing that, I was looking for jobs. And I noticed something on one of my interviews. I'm showing up with a fresh suit, college degree in my back pocket, and I'm looking for an entry level position. And as I was interviewing with the vice president, I looked out in all the cubicles that were throughout the office. You could see it's about 75 people that are sitting in the cubicles, and I noticed something. I said, wow, folks were peeking around the corner looking at me as if to see why am I here or who is that? And I noticed, I said, there was not one Black person, not a Black woman, not a Black man, not a mixed Black person in the entire office. And I was like, wow, this is really the situation that we are dealing with. So I started to, that was some 17, 18 years ago. I started to, almost 20 years ago now, I started to come up with solutions that could be helpful as opposed to just stating the problem. If you just state the problem and you don't give any solutions, you become another part of the problem. Why tell me what's wrong when I already know what's wrong and you don't have any solutions? In ministry, Romans 10 and 9. If you confess with your mouth that Jesus Christ is Lord and know in your heart that God raised him from the dead, you will be saved. Let's say I get a 23-year-old couple saved, and now they just accepted that. We prayed the prayer of salvation with them. And let's say they have long life. They're going to live to be 80 years old. That's still another 60 years that they're going to need finances in their pocket. And life is quite miserable without money in this world. This is a financial world. I didn't make it that way. I'm a peon when it comes to money that people need in this world. And I have to acquiesce in that capacity and say, well, hey, it's necessary to have money. It's necessary to have a roof over your head. It's necessary to have food in your belly. It's necessary to have a car in the drive, a car to drive, depending on where you live. So these are the problems that I look to address with young Black men: systemic racism and economics. We're looking to again conquer forced superwoman, a term I'll elaborate more on, unemployment, underemployment, and mass incarceration. Thank you very much for your time. Be blessed.